Okay, welcome back to another lesson. This time it's going to be a bit more advanced because we're going to be getting into a very, I would say, a complicated move, but as long as you take the time to break it down into the necessary components, which is what I'm going to attempt to do, it really isn't that hard. It just takes a lot of coordination to get to keep it to where your arms don't get, entangled, to where you're not hitting things together. And again, I said this is the alternating flowers, which means we're going to be alternating between a downward advanced flower and an upward advanced flower, and then back, which looks like that. Okay. It's useful for switching directions, so if I'm facing this way and I'm doing the advanced flowers, then I can switch this way. Okay. It's also good for moving back and forth, which requires taking a step. See if I can do it here. Kind of like that. I may save that for a later video because that adds just another complicated step, literally. But for right now, I'm just going to focus on the switching directions between the two because that's, to be fair, complicated enough. Now, in the last video, I showed you this motion, the reversing of the sabers. Now, that is how I'm going to teach this move, because that's really all you're doing this entire move, is just switching back and forth. Okay. So I'm going to start this move with my left forearm resting on my right forearm. Blades pretty much horizontal, opposite each other. And I'm going to start going this way with the downward flower. Okay. So left forearm on the right. Now, when I'm facing to my right here, I'm going to turn so the sabers are roughly at my back. So here they're at my front, here they're roughly towards my back. Okay, from there I'm going to reverse so that now my right forearm is resting on my left. Okay, I'm going to come back to the front, reverse again. Okay, so that much again. Left forearm on top of the right, back, reverse, front, reverse. Okay. From here, I'm going this way now, back, reverse, front, reverse. Okay. So you're doing back, reverse, front, reverse, back, reverse, front, reverse. Okay. Now that actually gives you this entire move very broken down into that one motion, because that's really all you're doing. The only difference between what I'm doing here and what I do normally is I'm separating the forearms and adding those little basic flourishes in there. So again, left on the right, back. I do that just by turning my torso, my hips, and slightly my knees. I'm not trying to go all the way around, but I'm just getting enough to where the sabers are roughly towards my back, just for illustration. When you actually do the move, you're not going to be turning that much. This is just to illustrate it. So left on the right, back, reverse, front, reverse, back, reverse, front, reverse. If I start speeding that up, you can kind of see it turning into the actual move. So back reverse, front reverse, back reverse, front reverse. Now, if I start separating my forearms and adding those little flourishes, it turns into this. As you can see, that movement is still there. It's just not as pronounced now because my forearms are separated, and I'm adding those little basic flourishes in there. It's the exact same motion. Oops. It's the exact same motion. It's just that now you're separating the forearms and you're adding those basic flourishes. So again, if you start with that motion, oops, and then you start speeding it up, if you can get to this point, you're pretty much well into the move. If you can just get to the point where you can switch, do that reverse move, to where you can do it at this speed, back and front. All you have to do then is just separate the forearms and add those little flourishes. Now if I just do this separating my forearms, that's what it looks like. The sabers are pretty much stiff, my wrists are stiff, but I am getting that same movement. As you can see, the move doesn't look as good doing this. It looks much better when you add those little flourishes to it. And like I said, you don't have to turn that much when you're doing the move. With enough practice, you can get it to where you're just barely angling it. Okay. Like I'm barely turning my hips here. But again, this is basically good for switching directions. So if I'm facing to the right, and I can switch to the left, and so on. I'll do it from the side view so you can see. So here, I'm starting the same way. Left forearm over the right forearm. Back. Reverse. Front. Reverse. Now this side. Back. Reverse. And then front. Reverse. Okay, now I'll start adding those little flourishes. Okay. Hopefully you saw that. That's what the move looks like when you're just switching directions. For the very ambitious of you, I'll go ahead and explain how to do the moving with this. It's really the same exact move. The only thing you're doing is when you're going to the back with the move, going to the back with the move, so here I'm in the downward going towards the back, you have a choice. You can either step forward with your back leg, or you can step back with your front leg. Okay? So I'll do it stepping forward first. First I'm going to do the move a little bit just so you can see it's the same thing. And again, if you're gonna learn how to step with this, learn this move first, just switching directions, because this move needs a good amount of coordination anyways. But when you're ready to, as I come into the downward, into the back portion of this, going towards my back, I'm going to step through with my back leg. Now I can do the upward flowers on this side. Okay. If I wanted to switch again, stepping through, again, that would happen as I bring the sabers to my back. So here. Okay. So when they come to my back, I'm going to step through again, reverse, and now I'm back into the downward. Okay. So I'll do that a little bit faster so you can see it. First I'll do the move. Here I'm just alternating directions. Now I'm going to step with it. So as it comes up to my back, step through. Now I'm in the upward. Okay. I'm going to step through again as I come to my back, which happens here. So step. And now I'm back into the downward. Okay. Now that is stepping through. I can also step back with my front foot just as easily. So again, alternating directions. As I come to the back, I can step back, and now I'm in, you can see all this, and now I'm in the upward flowers. Again, I can step back, when I come to this point. So step back, now I'm back into the downward. So that's how you move with this move. I'll step back a little bit and see if I can do a series of these for you. Angle the camera a bit here. Okay. So I'm going to start moving this way. Now I'm just alternating directions. Now I'm going to step through here. Okay. If I wanted to go backwards again, I'd have to take a step back with my front foot. Like that. Maybe out of frame here, hopefully not. Okay. So that's how you switch. See you later. How we doing? Howdy. So that's how you switch directions with this, and that's how you move with this move. Again, this is just the switching of directions. And if I want to move with this move again, as I come to the back, I just step through. Now if I step through again, as I come to the back, step through, and that's how you move with this move. It's very useful for obviously moving back and forth, or switching direction, whichever you want to do. I wouldn't really say it's useful for a combative situation. The flowers in themselves might be, but the switching of the directions of them, linking sabers together. You know, I wouldn't say that's a very useful tactic to use. Mostly it's going to come from just the move itself. You know, when you're chasing someone down, that kind of thing. But really this is mainly just a show kind of thing. Just something to practice on, building your coordination between the two sabers. That's really what it's useful for. And again, it all stems from that one motion there. Okay. Okay, so it all stems from that. Alright, that is how to alternate and how to move with the alternating between the downward and the upward flowers, the advanced versions. Okay, so that's that video. The next time I will probably get into what I call sideways flowers, which are those kind of things. So I will see you in that lesson.